And there we go. We're live on both streams. Good evening, fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm Neville Hoshoti, and today we're reviewing I Hate This Place, which has another name, apparently, that you can get on the slightly different cover, which is that, which is a cool idea. I like it. And I do like this comic book. It is one that I've been interested in for a while. I kind of missed it when it first came out, unfortunately, because I wasn't paying enough attention to it. But it did a lot of very good reviews, comparing it very favorably to Homesick Pilots, a comic book I absolutely adore. So I thought I'll absolutely give it a shot. But as much as I did like it, we're going to start with a negative on this one, I'm afraid. We're going to start with something about it I didn't like. And it's really not going to take long because there is only one major issue I've got with it. And that is, it kind of goes against one of the almost universal laws of horror, or rules of horror, should I say, where it's basically, it gives you an awful lot of things very early on and doesn't leave much room to build up. Not necessarily the end of the world, but in an ongoing comic book where I don't think it's a miniseries. If it is, I'm hoping it's going to be quite a long one, hopefully a maxi series. You basically find out there are ghosts haunting this ranch, and one poltergeist specifically within it. And then there's at least some kind of alien or other unknown beastie that's out killing people, and also a criminal who's a psychopath who murders people, and people knew about this, and now they're trapped in the place and can't leave, otherwise ghosts or something will follow them. This all happens within the first issue. And I'm not saying this to be like a spoiler kind of thing, like I would have said spoiler beforehand. They kind of put this so front and center that, as enjoyable as I found it, I do worry if 4 issues in I'm going to be feeling the same way, if it's been able to maintain this level of enjoyment, this level of pacing and excitement, because it is absolutely brilliant, this first issue. There is so much going on. Like I say, multiple different threats, but that isn't even the bits that I really like about it. I love the characterization. I think it's absolutely brilliant. They're the main protagonist of this comic book is a lesbian couple, one of whom has inherited a cattle ranch and they're going to live there, effectively to sell everything off, all the cattle and then the property, so they can buy a house somewhere else. Of the two of them, one of them is a gun nut. What's the phrase here? I'm really sorry, I'm blanking here. Survivor type. I'm not sure I'm getting it quite right. Somebody who's basically expecting the end of the world and be prepared for it. This doomsday prepper. That's the phrase I was thinking of. But of the two people in the relationship, it is the POC lesbian who is actually that person, not the tall blonde one, which is a nice little change. But it doesn't feel like it's just done for the sake of it. It feels like there's actual characterization there and stuff matters. And it's also kind of nice to show that in this kind of relationship, the other person, although they're obviously not a big fan of it, is accepting of it and understanding that it is part of the person they fell in love with. And to fight against it would be kind of disingenuous, and it'd be like, selling short the relationship they have and the relationship they built together. I like that as a way of showing that there is possible different people to be in a relationship, to accept differences, and still be loving and caring. That's really, really well done. Absolutely superb. There's a lot of world building in terms of what was going on at this ranch, but not all of it, which I really quite like. Like I say, they drop, like it's an info dump on you, but they still leave enough there for you to try to figure out what's going on, as you then, through your avatars in the comic book of the characters who don't know what's going on, you get to discover it all as well. It kind of leaves it at the point where the decision has been made, even though they now know everything that's going on and that they're cursed, and if they try and leave, something will follow them, and there are ghosts that can teleport people and all manner of terrible things. They don't know about this murdery guy yet. They still decide to stick around. That's a tough call to make, but again, it doesn't feel like it's just done because this is a horror story, and it'd be kind of weird if the horror story ended and going, oh, well, never mind, bye. They stick around for good reasons. The characters are well enough defined that I actually found it completely compelling and believable that when they made their arguments, I'd be like, yeah, actually, that makes sense. Not necessarily that I agree with the argument, but it makes sense why they'd make it, and it makes sense why the person agrees with them. All very well thought out. And I also do like the artwork. It's not Casper Wingard. I hope I'm pronounced that correctly, from Homesick Pilots. Absolutely brilliant artist. He stylistically is way smoother, though. It's still very indie and stylized, but it is far more clipped and controlled. This is far more open and kind of rangy and a bit scratchy in places, but I still think it works perfectly for this style of horror. And there is some very early brutality to this as well, which is captured fantastically. It starts with an act of human-on-human brutality and violence, but ends with some supernatural death and dismemberment. And it all comes across brilliantly. It doesn't feel like it's gory for the sake of it. It doesn't feel like it's trying to score points. It's basically letting you know what you're getting in for. It is letting you know that, yes, this is a story of potentially a fantastic bit of romance, but it is a horror story through and through. horror stories can happen to very nice people, and this is going to happen to anyone who gets near it. You get the sense that this is going to be an all-encompassing, brutal road trip of horror, and I'm in for it. Like I say, I just hope it manages to maintain this setting and this pacing for the rest of the series. That's it for me today, though. I'll try and get another one in tomorrow because there's still at least 2 or 3 that I want to review this week. But until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.